I don't just refer people. Some people will just grab somebody and refer them and they know nothing about them. Maybe they did one little job good. And the problem with that is if you don't vet these people, how do you know that they're good long term? How do you know it wasn't just a one off, right? I'm probably up to about 24 different contractors slash business owners that love what they do. And that's a big thing for me. And I kept going, this is my opportunity. I've been wanting to do this my whole life, right?
Welcome to Growing Roots and Leaving a Mark. Here we celebrate the stories and the contributions of those that chose to make Central Florida their home. And today we have Dustin Frederickson. Did I say it right?
That's right.
Frederickson?
Dustin Frederickson. That's perfect. Yeah.
I'm always I'm always afraid of butchering somebody's name or last name.
No, I'm sure we all do that.
So Dustin is my neighbor, and I met him because my first house in this community, when I bought it, he was the person in charge of the warranty, and he always went above and beyond what was required from him. And that's when I met him. And since then, many things have changed, but he keeps, going the extra mile for his people, his community. And that's why I would like you to know more about him. So, Dustin, tell us about where are you from and how did you end up here in Central Florida?
Okay, great. Well, number one, thank you for inviting me on the show. I really appreciate it. What brought me to Central Florida and this Laureate Park area in Lake Nona is I was born in Philadelphia, born and raised in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia was known for city of neighborhoods. It still is. And so I grew up in an area called Holmesburg. It's north of the city. It's kind of in the city, but outside the city, if that makes sense. It's still in the city, but it's considered like out of the main city. And that being said, when I grew up there, all the neighbors looked out for each other. So we had block parties growing up, and it didn't matter what you did. If you went a couple blocks away and you got into trouble as a kid, your mom would get a phone call and your dad, and mostly your mom, and your mom would say, "Oh, I knew where you were," and you're like, "How did you know?" But everybody was looking out for each other. So it stunk as a kid because we had to go further out, right? So, but as for parents in a neighborhood and community, it was great because people really looked out for each other. And when somebody came in the neighborhood that didn't belong, everybody knew it and everybody looked out for each other. So it was really nice. And having them block parties really made the community tight. And I'll say for a good couple years, probably a 10-year stretch, everybody knew everything. So it really helped out. If you needed somebody, oh, can you help me lift this? People would do that. So I really grew up on that and believed in that whole thing that was going on. And so when I was 29, I moved to New York City, got married, had my daughter, spent 4 years there. I didn't see the same thing there. Had the great experience food-wise and city-wise, but it definitely is a beast of itself. I mean, we lived only 2 blocks from Times Square. That whole noise thing, there's a lot of noise, a lot of stimulation, overstimulation sometimes. And what happens is my ex-wife's mother lived 10 minutes from here. And what happened was they kept telling me about Laureate Park every time we talked. And they told me so much that it got like old, when somebody keeps saying, hey, you should go do this. You should go do this. So we were on vacation one time in Anna Maria Island for a week. And on the way home, the aunt just wouldn't stop talking about Laureate Park. So I was like, hey, let's just go right from here, right? Let's go right from here. And so we came over here and we had the car parked with packed with all the vacation stuff. And when we rode down the street, so we rode down Walcott, Crescent Park, on that drive, there was 3 different people, families, we'll say. And on that drive, every one of them families, no lie, waved and said, hey, how you doing? We had the windows down. And I was that little thing of, hey, people are real nice here. This is amazing. And then so we went into the model, bottom line, and loved the model and loved it so much and saw what was coming. They kept talking about all the things coming. And we put a down payment on the
Wow.
house. And we didn't have anything figured out. That's life, right? You don't have anything figured out. We were going to give up our jobs and move down here and build a house and all that. And we did all that, bottom line, fast forward. Literally in my mind, it was going to happen, right? And I'll rewind a little bit. When I was 18, growing up in a family, we had 5 of us. We never went anywhere really. We were in the tri-state area, meaning Wildwood, New Jersey was our vacation each year. We didn't even go to amusement parks because we didn't have the money when we were younger. And so only when we were 18, then we started going to all the amusement parks and all that. And New York a little bit because I had family there, and really Delaware, New Jersey, kind of right there. And what happened was, came down for senior week, which is 18 years old, and went to Disney World for a week. And that was the start. Coming into the airport with the palm trees and everything, it just was like, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, again, it's one thing seeing it on TV, but when you live it, you're like, wow. And them little nuggets stuck in my head, like, I love this place. It just started right there. And that summer, I came down 5 weeks. I went to St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Fort Myers, Orlando, Miami, and 5 different weeks. And when you, everything was almost the same, different cities, right? Palm trees, you're like, why am I not down here, right? So that starts playing in your head. So when we did make the move down here, I was already wanting so bad to move down here, right? And so excited by what the neighborhood was. And when we moved down here with no jobs, was fortunate enough that when they came to do the warranty meeting, I was your warranty guy, but when they came to do the warranty meeting, they had Eric come along and he just asked all about me. What are you doing? All that. And I've been working since I was 10 years old. I told him the whole story. And when I did, um, he said, I remember him saying, we really need a guy like you. And I didn't think anything of it. Right. And so fast forward, we had 27 items on our home because we built it from New York. I've only seen it twice during the construction phase because I was in construction. So I know I didn't need to watch the paint dry. I kind of knew the system. I just needed to know that they were going to fix things. So we had 27 things. And what happened was, I said to him, as long as you fix these things in the next 2 weeks, that's good. I'll feel good about it. So what happened was the next day he put an application on my door for the position of warranty. And I was like, well, there's one thing we built with you. Now, are you going to fix the things you said you're going to fix? And if you do, and it's not just me, it's everybody, you're doing this because it's in the community, I'm going to feel real good about that. And he goes, no, it's not just you. That's our motto. That's our culture. And I was like, okay. So fast forward, they fixed everything, the 27 things in 2 weeks. And what happened was, um, as soon as they did that, I said, as long as you do this for everybody else, I'm in. And so I did. I did through their interview process, got hired, and I literally worked 100 feet from my house in Laureate Park for a couple years, which is amazing. Some people think it's insane, but it's amazing to come down here with nothing and then get this job that's 100 feet away and then make the same money when it was all said and done that I was making in New York, which is just my brother-in-law, who's an engineer, my brother-in-law Jackson, he thought I was nuts. He goes, who gives up jobs, buys a house, and does all this on the whim? But I didn't believe it was a whim. I just really believed that when you believe in yourself and sometimes you got to believe in God that has a plan and all that, it just all worked out, right?
Exactly.
And so you could see the excitement. It just was so excited to be here, right? And I just loved being in the area. Some people don't understand. Like in New York, when I lived in New York, I had a company I worked for in Philly because I'm in the Carpenters Union. I still am for 15 years at that point. I was going back and forth for the first like 4 or 5 months every day to work. And so I would get up at 3 a.m. and I would get to Philly, just say by 7 a.m. and I would work and then drive back and I wouldn't get back to 9 p.m. And my life for 5 days a week was this driving and working. And after a couple months of that, I did not want to drive anymore. It was like soul sucking traffic, right? It's like Narcoosseous, if anybody knows what Narcoosseous is. And so I decided I was not leaving. So when people are like, hey, can you go here? Most times it's no, because I don't like sitting in a car in traffic just wasting time, right? That's just not me. So that's why I figured I'm going to just plant my flag and this is going to be it, if that
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
that it seems to me that yeah, it was kind of like impulsive, but you say that there was a desire. There was already a desire
Oh,
to
yeah.
move.
Very desire. And people ask me all the time. My mom says, she tells all the family, see if Dustin will move back, because some of my family members are still in Philadelphia. And I'm like, I'm never moving back. I know that sounds like this is where I'm supposed to be, right? Like, I'm not supposed to be in Philadelphia. I visit a lot, but I'm not supposed to be there,
And
right?
did you feel like that like right away, or did it take you some time to get used to the life here, because it's very different than in the big cities up north?
So I think what happened was, I think the Disney trip at senior week was the light bulb that went off, and then that whole summer of 5 weeks here, it just kept feeding it. Where you're like, what am I doing? Why am I killing myself out there? Why am I shoveling snow? Why am I driving through snow wearing all these jackets? Like you just start playing all these things like freezing, it's nighttime at 4 p.m. You just all these things. So once I got down here, I knew that there was going to be a body change, if that makes sense, because you go from super cold, which I was only wearing a jacket, this is real, for 2 days every year. I just would wear a cashmere sweater and no jacket, and that's my body. I was up there my whole life. But when I got down here, my body had to get used to the heat, right? And so I didn't really get used to it till I spent time out in it a lot. And that was actually not when I worked at David Weekly, because I was in the office a lot, which we kept the thermostat at 68 degrees. So your body is
Yeah.
cold, right? It was when I started the business that first year, I spent a lot of time outside doing anything when you start a business. I was sealing pavers, I was doing mulch, whatever. And I'm telling you, I thought I wanted to die every day, right? But that's because my body wasn't used to the heat. But after I got through that initial year, now, I mean, people think I'm crazy. I don't have AC in my car, in my vehicle. I do have really good tint, ceramic tint, but my body, I do saunas, which again is a lot of heat. Your body thins out being down here. It takes a little bit. It probably takes a whole year. But once it does, you love it. I mean, I wouldn't change it. I go up north and I freeze now, right? And so I don't know about you, but you go up north and I just feel like everything's
Well, I
super
mean,
cold, right?
when it hits the 70s, 71, 72, it's freezing for me. Like it's just
Yeah.
I'm a tropical girl, so for me, that's freezing. And you talk about getting used to that heat when you started your own business. Tell me about that
Yep.
transition between working for David Weekly and deciding to become a business owner.
Okay, so working for Weekly in the neighborhood, I was almost with them 6 years. And what happened was, because I was in the neighborhood, we were one of the first 100 homes being built. I think you were probably
Yes.
possibly too, correct? And so we were here since the beginning. Like when you could walk on streets at night for 20 minutes and no car comes by. I mean, it was amazing, right? And that's even Nona Boulevard, and that's Lord Boulevard, all that. It was really amazing. And so that being said, once I worked for Weekly and everything blew up, there was a Weekly was running its course with me, and I'm sure they were running their course also. And what happened was that job is not an easy job. You have to clean up after everybody, 70 different trades. You have to make sure at the same time you're going into homeowners where they're not really excited to see you because the work should have been done right the first time. I'd say that's about 80%,
Mhm.
90%. And so now you're fixing something that should have been done right the first time. And I understood that dynamic from day one that, listen, I'm coming into your home. I'm not doing you a favor. This is something you need to do. So that job is one of the hardest jobs I've ever had in my life, and I worked since I was 10, and I understood it. But I understood the same thing, that if you think of it a little differently and try to position it differently, it does help. I just knew that if I got on the other end again of that, like in furniture, when I did furniture for 15 years in the Carpenters Union, everybody we went to see loved seeing us. Oh, we're getting new furniture and you're putting this up. Seriously, they always loved it. So I knew if I can get on the front end again, people would really get excited about
Mhm.
seeing me, right? And it would feel good the whole process. So when David Weekly was doing their thing, and I realized that the days were numbered with that, and it wasn't anything personal. It's business. It's the corporate stuff. And what that was is they were going to bring somebody in for 20 grand less a year to fill my position. And that right there solidified my head that I never wanted to work for a corporation again directly like
Mhm.
that. It solidified that I won't go through this again and give myself to somebody like that. Right. And so I had an opportunity when the David Weekly thing was going on. One of the homeowners was high up in Lockheed Martin, really high up, and they offered me a position. It was literally whatever position to get in the door, matter what, right? And they were just so awesome. Now, having that on your plate as I was deciding what I'm doing with the business. Now, I read a lot. I read more probably in a year now than on my whole life. It's just I read so much. And one of the things I was reading back then was all these interviews on people that are 70, 80, 90
Mhm.
years old, and they were on their deathbed, and they were asking them some of the regrets in life, and most of them came up with, the majority said, I should have started my own
Mhm.
business. I should have did this passion, whatever that is in your life. I should have did that. And I kept going, this is my opportunity. I've been wanting to do this my whole life, right? And it's just timing, whatever. And I said, now's the opportunity. I'm going to do it. And so I decided I was going to do this path, right? And so in doing that, I was fortunate enough that working for Weekly in the neighborhood and dealing with hundreds of homeowners over that 6 years, just say, I did right by people, and I would say the majority of people responded to that. So what happens by that is, as soon as I started the business, you get anybody that's left in the neighborhood that hasn't moved, obviously, and then people are helping you grow your business and getting it going. And so there was a lot of help by realtors with that in the beginning, because you're doing anything when you start a business to get it going. So I was, nothing was beneath me. I didn't care if I had to do mulching. I didn't care what it was to get it going. But what happens is, in about 6 months, I think it was, I was doing whatever it took. Then it started to go. Like, meaning, like, people don't understand. I have never hung a fan. This is so true. I'm a carpenter and all that, but that was in our world. I never hung a fan before about 5.5 years ago. Nobody
Wow.
knows that. But now I've hung 500 to 1,000 or more fans, right? And I've become so good at it. People really go, how did you get that done in like 20, 30 minutes? Because I'm all about systematic. That's what happens, in the union and all that, like getting better faster and all that. And so that being said, that's a lot of things. I just tackle it head on, and I try to go deep with it and try to see what's the best way to do it. How do you do it where it's not going to be a problem for the homeowner? I just, on that front end again, I wanted everything to be right, that there's no callbacks. That's one of my things in my head all the time. And I tell people, I almost never have to go back to my homeowner's home. Almost never. And when people say, what do you think the number is? It's probably, in the whole year of all the hundreds of homeowners that I go to, it might be 1 or 2 times. And when I do, I never charge homeowners, because even if it's not in my favor, meaning like, Dustin, it wasn't you as the fan, that something went or something like that, I just chalk it up as, that happens in life. I want you to feel good about the process and say, hey, listen, you've been with me for 2 years, 3 years. I'll take care of it. It's just part of business, right? And it's part of the relationship. So I try to do the right thing, if that makes sense. And I feel good with that. The homeowner feels good with that. And it's just the way life is,
Absolutely.
right? And so I just, when I started the business, I just knew that I was going to do things how I wanted to do them. So when I don't love something, and there's things that I do in the beginning that I didn't love, like sealing pavers. Who would love to spray a clear coat on pavers? Maybe there's somebody there is, but I didn't love it. I did the best I could with it. It turned out as good as it can, but I found out that the products at some of the stores weren't as good as, like, say, from uh, a website or something, and you got subpar products that didn't last
Yes.
long, and I didn't go well with me, because I was like, man, I put my heart and soul in that thing, and within a couple of years the sun faded it, and there's nothing you could do about that, right? So I was always, when I do something, I try to do things that last. That I want it to last for you. The goal is to bring people value, right? I feel good, you feel good, you're saving money, I feel like we're all winning, right? And so I tend to try to help people, and my way of helping people is education. So it's, we all have our own life, and then we all own homes or rent apartments or whatever. And the maintenance part of that, sometimes people go, oh, I just don't know how to do that. And I just believe there's so many things in a home that if I show you a bunch of them, you might retain maybe 60, 70% where you go, listen, I could do it now. I don't have to pay somebody. I can put the headphones on, listen to podcasts, whatever, and I can knock out these things. And some of them are 5 minutes a month, 10 minutes a month. And it really is, when you break them down, it's literally like 10 minutes a month to do a bunch of maintenance things for your home that will save you big money. So I find passion in that. I find passion going a little deeper than other people do. I just believe there's a lot of whisper down the lane stuff that goes on. And what I mean by that is, for example, you talk to any AC guy and they're going to tell you either vinegar or bleach, right? But they never tell you how much. They never really give you a process of what you could do. And I just go deeper with that I'm like, hey, what is the point of vinegar and bleach anyway? Now, bleach I wouldn't use on the ACs because it messes with the glue in the line. You can Google that. It's so vinegar. When you use vinegar, if you dilute it too much, in my mind, it's like using a drop of soap to clean your car. It's not going to do anything, right? It's literally not going to. So my thing is just to go deep in with that. And my thing is finding out, like, I think I'm one of the, I Googled the heck out of this. I'm one of the first people talking about 45% vinegar. And I'm telling you now, it's not just talking about something. The results of some of my homeowners that have been doing this for a year plus now, the pipes are clean. Like, you go outside and take the cap off and it's a clear pipe. What there you go, right? Now, why is that important? Because now they don't have to pay somebody to come over once a year, just say or
Exactly.
once every year or 6 months or whatever, the shop vac, and they don't have to buy a shop vac. So now they just eliminated two things, right? But vinegar, they just got to buy a bottle that's 20 something dollars, and they just eliminated all these problems, right? And so I don't want to go too deep in that, Ken, but you just let me know where you want me
No,
to.
but you're touching on the education part of it, and you have
Yep.
made a point to educate the community through Facebook, and that is something
Yep.
that I really admire, because it will be like the general way of thinking that if you have a business, you rather keep the secrets to yourself so that people will call you. But tell me about how, because we have talked about this before. Tell me about how having an abundance mindset and actually sharing through social media the tips that you give us, homeowners, on how to give proper maintenance to just little things in the home. How have that helped you in growing your business?
So it's a great question. I'm glad you led off with that. So what happens is everybody thinks that because you give away information, right? That, oh, you're giving this, and I'll tell you, the first couple months I started doing this, this is real. Like, people don't realize I was never on Facebook before I started the business. Never. I didn't have a personal account. That's not how I operate. I didn't want my personal stuff out there. Nothing. So when I started doing that, I got a lot of instant messages. I got calls from friends up north. They're like, "You're giving all this stuff away. You cannot do this." And I said, "Why?" Because you can't do it. I said, "Yes, you can." I said, "You can give all the tips and tricks away. I don't care. It's human behavior that everybody's not going to do it, right? But what's going to happen is if they want to do it, they can do it. And if they don't want to do it, they know that you know what you're talking about. So who would you
Exactly.
have doing it? Somebody who doesn't tell you anything, or somebody that says, "I've done this 1,000 times. This is why we do it 1,000 times this way." And I try to explain to people too, because people say, "I tried it and I didn't have the same outcome." Well, it's because this is the first time you're trying it, right? You're going to hit all adversities. I, I I might hit the same couple adversities, but I've been through them adversities, so I can within a minute go around them, right? So my thing is, by giving this information, everybody has an understanding of how it all goes, and they just can decide if they want to do it themselves. I just believe in that. You don't have to take that on, that, "Oh, I have to do everything." I don't believe in that. I believe the more that you give away, and that's even been with jobs. People, that first paving sealer thing that I did not like at all, but I did to do the business. As soon as I found somebody that did ceiling pavers better than me, I was like, "Kumbaya, yes, you are my person." And as soon as I was like, "Man, I don't have to do this no more," and that happens. That happened now the last couple of years, the last 5 years, and when that started happening, that was a relief. Because imagine, okay, so in real estate for you, what is the worst thing that you don't like in real estate? There has to be something that you're like, "I'm just not a fan of doing this." What is that for you?
Paperwork.
Okay, exactly. See, I'm not a big table. We're on the same page here. Well, if you can somehow give that to somebody and it's going to get done right and you're going to be happy, you would be doing these things, talking to people. It would be so much better, and your mojo, spirit, all that energy would just be so much higher, right? And
Correct.
I
Yes.
think there is proven stuff, and I've even self-proved this, is when you do things that you love, your energy can stay high. That's why I can work 7 days a week, and I might not work long days on Saturday and Sunday, but it's a feeling on Saturday, Sunday, how long I work. But when you love something and it feels like it's going, 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 it doesn't feel like work. So that's why people go, "How much energy do you have?" Well, when you keep eliminating things that are not your thing and you stick to the things you're great at, it explodes, right? It has to, right? I
And
hope that.
you're also blessing other people by, they're good at this, so I'm just referring clients to them. And even that makes you an authority in everything, everything home maintenance, because even when you cannot, or you prefer not to do certain jobs, people know that they can come to you and they can ask you, okay, who can do it and who can do it well, and you'll be able to refer it. So that gives you, it gives you a good reputation in your business.
No, I believe in that concept. I really do. I do because some people will just grab somebody and refer them, and they know nothing about them, and they just maybe they did one little job good. And the problem with that is if there's no vet, I call it vetting. If you don't
Mhm.
vet these people, and these people even be me, if you don't vet people, how do you know that they're good long term? How do you know it wasn't just a one
Correct.
off, right? And you're putting your name, and that happens sometimes. That was happening in the beginning in the community. Somebody would refer somebody, and they would go and do 6 homeowners right away in that week, and there would be disasters. They really would, and that person would either go out of business or walk away and not answer the phone, and people would have to deal with that, right? My
Mhm.
theory on that is I saw that on when I worked at David Weekly all the time, because homeowners would talk to me all the time, and I would say, how do we eliminate that? So people don't understand. I don't just refer people. Some of these people I've known from the David Weekly days, 10 years we build a relationship, 10 years of them doing hundreds of jobs for homeowners, and consistency matters. They did a good job. The homeowner liked them, good personality, good price. There's all these things that go into it, right? And people don't understand. I'm probably up to about 24 different contractors slash business owners, small ones, right, that love what they do. And that's a
Mhm.
big thing for me. I used to question people at David Weekly, not David Weekly, but the trades. When a homeowner would call me and say, "Hey, this guy's not doing a great job at the tile job," I would dart over there and I'd just talk to the guy. I'd say, "Hey, buddy, I'm just curious. What did you do before this?" And he would light up. He'd say, "I'm an auto mechanic for 29 years in my country." And I'd say, "Why aren't you doing that?" And he would say, "Because the paperwork, I couldn't get the paperwork." And I said, "But you're doing tile. How long have you been doing tile?" And he says, "3 months." And I go, "Oh my God." So that's why the tile looks like that, right? And so again, in my mind, I'm like, we're not going to have this guy at any other houses, right? Because he doesn't love it. He's just doing a job, right? I know he's just
Exactly.
getting a paycheck. That's all he cares about. So my thing is, I want people that when you talk to them, they love it. Like my tile guy, he loves what he does. It's so his father did tile 30 years. He has done tile 20 plus years, and now his sons, which is amazing, 3 generations of tile. How can you beat that? How are you going to
Exactly.
beat 3 generations of tile? I don't know how you can beat that, right? And so
Yeah.
when you can't beat something, in my mind, I'm going to join it, and I'm going to be the biggest fan. I'm going to be like, listen, anything tile, I'm going to send the homeowners right to you. You can. I'm not going to answer this stuff, right? No. So and that's what happens. So um, I am always on the lookout. They say when I worked at Weekly, they always said there's 70 trades that build a home. And I don't believe I need all 70. I don't believe the homeowners need all 70. But I think it's probably around 40, 45
Mhm.
total for a whole home of windows, shower stuff, everything, right? And so my goal is to have one of everybody. It really is. And it's kind of to be the Angie's List, but not for the whole world. That's not what my dream is. It's just for this area. And that's
Mhm.
it. And so that's why I'm very careful who I'm referring out and where and all that. And I don't go on other social media pages too much or anything like that. I might be giving a tip on air conditioning, but you won't see me like giving anybody away on that. I just not how I operate. I think when Angie's List was originally done, I think it was wonderful. I think the concept was wonderful. Listen, we're going to rate these people, but I think now what it is, in my personal opinion, from listening to trades that have been in it and homeowners, and all, it's right now a system that can be manipulated, and it has been, where it's not that community. It's not that, oh my God, you got to call Bill. He's the painter in the neighborhood. You got to call Bill. He's going to do right by you, right? And so I'm always looking for people like that just love what they do. They don't have to be a giant business, but they're keeping costs low. They transfer that low cost to the homeowner, right? And everybody wins. Homeowners happy. They're getting a good deal. They're getting a good product, getting a good service, getting a good community talk, right? All that. It just so that's where my head is with that.
And you seem very, very happy always about what you do, your work. Your you owning your own business, and you post about that a lot. Uh, but what have been some of the challenges that you have encountered in that journey of
Oh,
owning
so
your
I'm
own
glad you're
business?
asking, because everybody sees you on Facebook, and this is the thing that people don't talk about too often. Is they see so I have one daughter. I love her to death. She's 14, Havana. I love her to death. And my thing is, life has its challenges, right? And anything time they see me and Havana going to an amusement park or the beach or anything, it seems like everything's great all the time. And that's not life. That's the problem. Everybody sees everybody's highlight reel and thinks, man, everything's great. Dustin just killing it all the time. They don't understand that there is adversity all the time. Nobody gets away from adversity. Do you think I'm not even looking at myself on camera because that's just not how I'm built, right? I'm looking at you. So I won't even probably, I'll watch the video and listen to it more than watch it, if that makes sense. It's just, you put yourself on stage, people think, oh, I just learned to work around the things that you're uncomfortable with, right? I don't know that anybody's real comfortable right away being on camera or anything like that. I just think that if you go from inside and speak right from your soul of how you are, it will come out. And I just believe we all look at each other and like, I hear people say, oh, I just don't sound right. And that's how I feel sometimes. Oh, I don't look right. I feel that sometimes too. My thing is, I just think that you got to push past that and realize that we all have value and we all can offer value to people. It's not an easy path. Nothing's easy. Even the YouTube thing of doing YouTube. So one of my videos now has almost 220,000 views on one video, right? And my thing is, I play with the thing that life comes up with adversity, family adversity, challenges outside the business, right? It happens in life. And when it happens, sometimes you got to step back from some of the things you're doing because your time, you can't be everywhere at once. So you have to devote your time to the family matters, obviously, and deal with them. And when they aren't so many things going on, then you could go back. I feel in life, we all go through phases, right? Maybe a parent's sick, maybe a parent's not healthy and you're taking care. And trust me, I'm going to go in that 1 second because it just popped in my head. When my father, I didn't know how important it was to own a business until when I started that business in the first year and my father got cancer and died of cancer. But before he died, was able to go up in Philly for weeks on end without nobody saying I can't, no business corporation saying you can't spend the last couple of weeks that your father's gonna be alive. That whole thing is always in my head. The freedom, the business, obviously responsibility, but the freedom of going and doing things family wise when they come up, because they come up, and having that, oh my God, somebody tells me I can't leave work, right? And so that is a lot of things that play in the back of my mind too, of like the freedom that the business allowed me to have in the last almost 6 years has, I just cannot express to other people that are thinking about doing their business. Go
Yeah.
for your goals and dreams, because there's things that come up in life outside your business, family things and all that personal, that you need that time that a work won't give you, if that makes sense. You need that time to, with family, with friends, whatever it takes, right? So I'm sorry I deviated a little bit, but
No, no, no. That's very important what you're saying, because you're weighing the responsibilities of having a business, which are many, and sometimes it means that you're gonna work outside of the 8 hours that a regular job will give you. You will have to work outside of those hours. You have to give more of yourself. But for you, that the freedom that you get to do the things that you need to do, or the things that you want to do, is ways more, and it's more important than any of the challenges that your business or owning a business will give you.
yeah. And I find we were talking earlier about like likes versus dislikes, or really what you don't like in the business. And when I was younger, I multitasked. I mean, like I was doing the Carpenters Union during the day, and at night I did investments and life insurance and all that for a couple years with Primerica. It's a division of Citigroup. And the one thing that I found out, you find out about yourself, that it's called moving paper, right? And what happens is that the goal is obviously to set up appointments in that business. It was to set up appointments and get in front of people and see if you can help them with their mortgage, life insurance, whatever, right? But if you're just moving paper, organizing, and guess who is great at that? I was. Because in the beginning, you don't want to do the uncomfortable thing of making a call, and you right, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got let's make this all look nice, right? And obviously the paperwork probably looked amazing back then, but nothing was happening on the production end. Well, what a 180 from learning from that, 180 now. People really say your business, I don't understand how you could be as big as I am, kind of, and be just a one man show. Nobody's ever a one man show. But what I'm saying is, it's all about knowing this, being slender and moving fast. I know what works and don't work, and we all get caught in the trap sometimes of moving paper. I call it, like where you're supposed to go to Starbucks and do some social media, and then I got caught up watching some reels because I thought they were good, and I didn't do anything I needed to do, right? And that happens. It happens to all of us. But I've been pushing myself more and more to what matters. So mine is scheduling appointments with homeowners, knocking out things for homeowners, and it's the same thing. It doesn't really change. So helping a homeowner. And when I focus on that 100%, the business explodes all the time. And when I can't, for whatever reason, life happens, right? I could see it. All of a sudden, I don't answer the home motors back as fast as I should, right? Because life happens, family stuff, your devoted time, other places. And I could see all of a sudden it goes down. So there is a correlation with all this stuff. And my thing is, when you love it, though, that's you were talking about the 8 hours. I don't even look at time anymore. All I know, though, I found a time around 8 or 8:30 in the morning. That's my time to start working. Now I'm up at 4 or 5 a.m. and I'm already. My place is cleaned and I'm ready out of it by 6 a.m. I'm at Starbucks already and I'm already doing anything, answering emails, answering text messages, responding to homeowners, social media, all that. That's all out of the way. But by 8:30, my first appointment's there. And then once I'm get going, it just continues to go, if that makes sense. I just focus on, I know that doing it that way, I could solve a lot of problems and
Exactly.
stop the things that happen in business, which are when you don't get it moving, it's easy to fall in traps like talking to people you shouldn't be talking. And I don't mean, what I'm saying is you have an hour conversation at the coffee house with somebody and you're like, I should have been really prospecting. I should have been organized. I should have been doing social media, right? I should have been
Guilty.
doing a podcast. I should have been doing something, right? What I find more and more too is people stop things instead of going, and it hurts sometimes to go deep with things. And what I mean by that is, like for water heaters, for example. So water heaters have really popped on my plate in the last 3 years, but really in the last like two plus years. And bottom line is, there was nothing I was doing with water heaters before that, really. Does that make sense? And it just popped in my plate, and now it is predominantly starting to take over a lot of part of the business. But it's because I see what's going on with the water heater things, and I see that all these giant companies are just looking to sell homeowners water heaters rather than helping them maintain the water heater for longevity, which keeps a lot of money in your pocket, right? And that lot of money can allow you to do an extra fan, a fan broke, oh, I wanted to do some artwork, oh, I wanted to put this, whatever that may be, rather than just giving somebody your money for no reason, if that makes sense. So once that fell on my plate, I was like, there's no way I can deny that there's something here that they're charging here, and I'm here, but this is coming with all the information, all the stuff. Once I leave your house, you should feel, oh my God, I got such an education on water heaters. Nobody's going to come in the house and bamboozle me and say, oh, you got to change that part. It's $800. Why don't you just replace the water heater? Because that's right, X, Y, Z. And just trying to do that to you. So I know that I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm sorry.
No, but you're giving useful information. Now, let me ask you: was it always, or were you always as disciplined as you are right now, or were there things that you had to tweak and learn, on your way through owning
Nope.
your business,
That
just to to place it where you are right now, where you know what to do at what time of the day, and even though sometimes you may not do it and do other things, but is there something that you have changed that helps you get that discipline?
My thing is, we all procrastinate on things in our life, all of them, all of us. even me. I can't stand taxes. Not that I don't want to, I love paying taxes and all that of what it's owed. I don't like the process of doing taxes, right? It's paperwork. It's such a process to do all that. I feel like I'm bored to death doing it, right? Like I could have the radio going, I could have it's just boredom to me. And I'm to the point now where my tax account almost knows that she's going to do 100% of everything now because I don't want anything to do with it, right? I trust her. I've known her 20 something years. I don't want nothing to do with it. I enjoy being in front of the homeowner. I enjoy talking with the homeowner about their issues and trying to solve some of them right on. Before this podcast, there were 3 phone calls that came on, and I answered all 3 to get them off. And people are like, "Man, you called right away." And I go, "Because I might not get you to tomorrow night because I have work and I can't call people while I'm working." It's just something built in me. If I'm on the drive to another call, I can, right? But your attention. So this is going to be good. So this will help you. This will help a lot of people. So when I was younger, I was fortunate enough when I worked for the financial company, I was able to go to this event. It was in New Jersey when I lived in Philly. And the event, they taught something that I'll never forget. It's a fact. So if you were to do this one little thing to me that I'm going to do right now, you're going to see what I say. And then when you understand it, you'll go, "Oh my God, I understand." Now, women are way better multitaskers than men. It's a fact, right? It's a scientific fact. That being said, even women will have a problem with this. So if you were to go through A through Z real quick, I'm going to have you do it. Go A through Z real quick.
ABC? Is that it?
All the way to Z.
All the way to Z? A, B,
Yes.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Yep. Okay, now go 1 through 26 as quick as you can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Now, they were pretty quick, both of them, right? Okay. I want you to do this now. This is what happens. Go A1, B2, all the way to 26.
A1, B2, C3. I'm confused already.
No, that's what happens. So what happens is most people can get about 6 letters and then it really slows down and then the mind. So this is what I learned in this event. So when I had this event, it was mind blowing because I said, everybody thinks you got to have everything all over and that doesn't work. The mind doesn't work that
Correct.
way. So if you can focus on something, even if it's a short 10, 20 minutes and you really dive into it and you're not keep getting pulled over, all over the place, you will be so much faster than everybody else because everybody is a couple minutes social media, couple minutes this, couple minutes this, couple minutes. It's just all over the place. Your mind can't really accelerate on certain topics when you're jumping all over the place. It's a fact, right? And so I try to tell people when I learned that these allocations of times that I do now, I just have trained my brain to get better at things. So people don't understand. Like if for example, if you call me and I have even 2 minutes, I'm going to answer that as fast as I can because I'm not going to procrastinate. Because if I procrastinate and then obviously I get some jobs, I might not call you for 4 hours later, right?
Mhm.
And that to
Yeah,
me is a problem, right? For me, it's a problem because I could have called you right there, right? And the more that you train your brain to say, "Hey, I don't even know if I can help them," meaning like physically help them, I might be like, "Okay, what are you looking for?" And they're like, "Oh, I need somebody to seal my pavers." And I'm like, "I got somebody for you, right?" And here they are, and I'm going to give them your information and connect them. And guess what I just did? I got that off my plate right away, right? Clearing the plate. And when you do that, you do not get bogged down, if that makes sense.
correct.
So, so my thing is, when you're doing something like if you're scheduling for podcast, you're going to schedule that whatever works for your schedule and have an allocated time, right? And then you're going to have an allocated time for somebody to edit the videos, right? And then you're going to have an allocated time to watch the edit after it's done. And when you're doing that, that's where I think your learning is going to come in. Even mine watching my own video, I'm not even looking at myself, so I'm sure people are like, "Man, his hands are moving the whole time," you know. And I'll deal with that. Trust me. I'm sure I'll deal with a lot, but my thing is, you're getting it right from me. You're not getting me looking at myself trying to critique the whole time, right? You're getting it
Mhm.
right from me. I feel good about it. I'm sure looking at myself, I won't feel good about it, but that's just the look. It's not actually what's coming out, right? And so, I just think if you can allocate time, and then you'll see what you actually love and don't love. You could say to yourself, hey, if this thing gets to this point in the business, maybe 6 months from now, the podcast explodes, which I believe it will definitely grow. My thing is, what will happen then? You might go, I really don't want to do this side of it. And guess what? Then you get somebody that can do that side of it, right? And I believe that's where we all have problems, because we're like, we got to trust somebody to do this, right? Are they going to do it right? Are they going to do it to my expectation, right? And that's a problem. But my thing is, do you really want to keep doing it though? You want to do the thing you love, or you want it right? So
Yeah. No, that's something I have to learn, because I haven't been good, like, giving out stuff that I'm really not that good at and that I really
like
don't want
what?
to
For
do,
example, like what?
like paperwork.
Like giving out
Like
paper? What do you mean
bookkeeping.
though? Like what? Like
Like
what?
bookkeeping,
I
just
know,
all of
but
those, all of that paperwork that we need to do when you have business and stuff.
so I'll tell you. I'll go into that for a second. So when I started the business, I in New York, I had problems with this too. It's just me again. We talked about paperwork, so it's the same thing. I would have to bill for the hours in New York and all that stuff and write the hours. And it just was so, I realized you realize things. I realized that if I had to go to Starbucks in New York, because that's where my Starbucks thing happened, I would have to sit there for 2, 3 hours doing paperwork for the last 3 weeks. And to me, when you're sitting here and you're like, I already worked and made this money, now I got to spend hours to go and get the money. And so now my money's getting diluted, right? It
Yeah,
really is the money per hour. I don't care what I was making 65 an hour. It's getting diluted right down, and it could get. And it just kept that drove me nuts. It really did. And I was like, okay. When I started the business here, I started to run into the same things, because in the beginning I didn't know how to curb it so fast. And so what would happen is I would put off some of the paperwork or billing people. It just doesn't have to be paper. Getting the hours together. Oh, I worked there for a couple days in a row. This is the hour. Well, guess what happens? Now that goes a week, a month, 6 weeks of billing somebody. And guess what happens? Then you internalize that and go, I'm billing somebody 6 weeks later. That ain't fair to nobody. So I will tell you the honest truth. In the first 2, 3 years, there's homeowners that didn't pay for some of their things. And that's this guy's fault. That's this guy's fault, right? They were probably like, this is unbelievable, right? In my mind, though, I couldn't see spending that much time, and then it wasn't fair to them if it went past a certain time. So I had to get good at billing people. So do you know how many people owe me money at this moment? Zero. Zero. I've come up with a system that paperwork stuff, I don't have to do no paperwork. And when I do, like I did one this week, it was at Starbucks early in the morning, and in 5 minutes I had it done and sent out. That's quick, right? Technology allows that to go quicker,
exactly. Yeah.
and I'm done, right? Well, I don't love the paperwork. So for me, I'm like, people are like, you don't have all this. I go, no. I go, I don't want things dragging on. Right? They grow legs. Next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, this is this. And now I don't want to play the mind games of, oh my God, I haven't built them in a couple of weeks and it's not fair. And I don't want to do that. I've been there. I played that game. I'm done with that game. I bill immediately before I leave the house. If they're not there, I'm sending them a text message what they owe me. And with technology, thank God, they're Zelling or whatever the case may be, right? It's just, so now I took that thing that was such a burden the last, say, 10, 15, 20 years, right, on my life, and it's out the window, right? And that's it. It's finding the things you love, and the things you don't, you have to say to yourself, well, I got to do it until I find somebody that can do it, right? That's it.
Exactly. But as soon as I find somebody, I'll
Yes.
give it to them.
No, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what happens. Yeah. I mean, that's why I think that's why people in life. So I could never be a realtor. And it's not because of the talking, obviously. It's because I couldn't do the paperwork. They would have me
Yeah.
test every year. That's why the investment thing became a problem. I help people. There's still this one family that we took from a 27-year mortgage down to a 12-year mortgage, and they paid nothing extra. It just, people don't understand. I'm really good at investments and stuff like that, especially mortgages, because I did that world. I just tell people there's paths for that. But what I didn't like is all the paperwork. Oh, there's continuing education. You got to spend 8 hours in the classroom, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I got out of school. I'm going back to school, right? Yeah, no. So I would never be a realtor. And there's certain jobs I could just never be. It's just me, right? But I find the things that I love, and I say, that's why when I'm having a bad day, all you got to start thinking about is, man, imagine if I had to sit behind, like, my tax accountant, who I love, I've known her for 20 plus years. I could never do her job. I mean, do you imagine during tax season, a month or two of cramming 14 hours a day, your eyes would fall out of your sockets, right? And that's just me. I could not do that, right? And so when I have a bad day, I go, it could be worse. You could be a tax accountant, right?
That's a good way to put it. Well, before we finish,
Yes.
I would like to ask you three questions that I ask everybody that I interview here for the podcast. And the three questions, the first one is, tell me about one thing or one place that you would like in Central Florida that you would like everybody to experience. One hidden gem or something.
One place in Central Florida that
A place or experience, something in Central Florida that you would like for everyone to have the experience.
I'm trying to stay away from the amusement parks. Give me a second to think about that. So, one place in Central Florida. Well, I don't know that I have one place uh, that comes to mind but I will say this because we're in Central Florida. Uh, the good news is we're an hour from the beach, right? Just sake of
Mm,
argument. And there's
yeah.
many beaches in that hour. It's not just one particular beach. It's all on the Atlantic side, right? And so I tell people when things get hectic, and it doesn't matter what time of year, I've gone any time of the year. You don't have to go in the ocean, but you could sit on
Yes.
the beach on the Atlantic side. And what happens is in most of them beaches, when the sun is about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it's already over the bushes and it's not pelting you, but you get to see everything, right? And it really does put things into perspective. So it's something that I want to do more often. I go in phases, but I want to do it more often where when I get a short day because I knock things out. I just want to get in the vehicle and drive down to the beach and sit in there for 2, 3 hours and
Yeah.
enjoy it. That's me, for me. That's what it is because it's right there, right? I think we all lose sight of that. Now, again, I go to amusement parks a lot, right? And that's for the walking, the exercise, the entertainment, the stimulation, all that. If that makes sense, the feel
Mhm.
good, all that. But the beach for me is it. Like that is the ultimate goal would be
Yes.
to spend weekends on the beach, like here in Laureate Park, Monday through Thursday, maybe Monday, Friday morning, and then for the weekend, long weekend, I'm at the beach, right?
You know that you talk about that proximity that we have to the Atlantic coast, and
Hmm.
one thing that my daughter and I have done a few times is just wake up very very early and just drive to Cocoa Beach and watch the sunrise.
I've never done that.
And
No,
it's
I will
it's
have
a
to do
it's
it.
a
I've never done it, right?
it's a beautiful experience. We have done it in Miami too, but here in Central Florida, it's just taking the 528
Yep.
all the way to Cocoa Beach and just sit down on a blanket and look at the sun.
You hit something that triggered my mind. So uh, I would say too, because we're talking about the beach and over that area, for people that lived up north and came down here, I would say that going to the Space Coast and watching a rocket go up, right? Like doing that whole experience. I've done it once, and it's been unbelievable. I literally was 2 miles from the rocket. I have a friend that works there, and we got 2 miles. It literally was one of the best experiences ever to watch that rocket go up. It just puts a lot of things in perspective, right? That when you think your problems, these people are putting a rocket and are going out of space, right? Like it just it amazing what all the things that we can do accomplish with you, right? And so that's another thing that people should go see, right?
Okay, good. And then second question: if Central Florida had a soundtrack, which song do you think would represent Central Florida the best?
Give me a second. I'm thinking about this. Mm. This one's a hard one. In my mind, it would be obviously in my mind, Central Florida is good times. It's because the amusement parks, because we're an hour from the beach, because everybody's in vacation mode. So something to do at vacation and good times. I don't know a song, it's not coming to me, but it'd be something along them lines that because most people are happy in Central Florida because of that, because a lot of people are on vacation, right? All that. So I just don't know a song that's coming off the tip of my head of a vacation slash song. I don't know the answer there.
But it would be happy, happy
Yes,
kind of
totally.
tune.
Totally, yes, totally,
I
yes.
agree with you. I agree with you. So the third one is when you think about the future of Central Florida, what would you like to see?
So I think what I see being here over 12 years now, I see us growing. We have the land in this area. If you were just to put a big radius around Central Florida right now. We have all the land, and so that's why everybody's moving here. I just seeing this getting bigger and bigger as far as like city wise, like becoming a bigger city. So
Mhm.
I see us getting another sports team. I see us getting a baseball team. I see that happening. The
Mhm.
name is a little bit challenging. They want to name it something that I don't see, but my thing is, but that would be great. And I'll tell you why if we get a baseball team, because people that are coming in for even Disney and Universal and all that, they
Yeah.
would love if their team was playing that time to spend one night at the game, right? I
Mhm.
think that we would be able to fill them stadiums real easy. And I think then because we're such a nice weather most of the year, we could have more concerts there, maybe the Super Bowl there, right? Like just
Wow.
little, right?
Yeah. That sounds, good.
I just think Miami is a little overpopulated from what I've been told and all that. And
Mhm.
so there's nowhere really for that to grow but up, right? If they do
Exactly.
bigger buildings. For us, we have so much land that it's just going to
Yeah.
keep going out. And what they're doing more and more, I read a lot. So what they're doing more and more, I mean, they're going to put between here and the Atlantic side, 1 million more homes between
Mhm.
Laureate Park and the Atlantic side, 1 million more homes, whether that's an apartment or they consider that a home, just say, right? There's
Yeah.
1 million more coming, right? And so I tell people the growth is here. So if you start a business, if you want to raise a family with the Space Coast going on, that helps that whole thing in between too, right? It's just
Yeah.
a lot of things going on right now. I just see growth, growth, growth. And where do people actually prosper in the growth, right? Uh,
Mhm.
I always believed in the anticipation of the event is greater than the event, right? You're excited
Yes.
to go to this party, and that all that excitement drives you through good times and bad times, right? And then you
Mhm.
get to the party, it's good, but the excitement about, oh, we're going on vacation, we're going there, that whole excitement is what goes, right?
Mhm. Yeah. That's a lofty goal, but I think it's a good one. Nobody has said that. Not yet. So that's a good one. Uh, Dustin, where can people find you?
So Dustin's Home Solutions for the business, right? And
Mhm.
if you go to Dustin's Home Solutions, I'm sure that you're going to be able to see my Facebook, and there's Dustin Home Solutions YouTube, which I will be going back on more and more. I just sometimes in life, I think you find out what works and what don't, and I think for
Yeah.
my business and my life. I might be on Instagram, which I am, but you don't see me doing anything because my business, I'm more about going a little deeper with people and getting to understand the why behind things. Like, that's
Yes.
why I think that YouTube video took off when I did it. It's because I go deep with it. And I don't think anybody cares about me personally when it comes to business, just say. And I don't think it should be the focus. What I think should be the focus is whatever I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about AC, how deep can we go with that so you understand like the reason why you use 45% vinegar is to eat the sludge so you can prevent an AC guy coming to your house, so you're paying for that, paying for a shop vac, just all these, not having air conditioning in your home, right? All these things. So my thing is, my goal is to go back on YouTube. I think that's where I'm going to be really good. And I'm not afraid. Like we were talking about in the beginning of anything, you start something and you got to figure it out. I think
Mhm.
I've figured everything out enough to the point now that the only person stopping me now is me. Meaning,
Yeah.
like, it's just time, do it, and then it'll get done. Like I think I'm over myself. Like I'm not looking at myself, but I'm over myself to the point where
Mhm.
I will start producing and produce and produce and produce, and I'm just not focused on me. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I really thank you for all the education that you're giving us through social media about home maintenance. I mean, it's really good. So thank you. And thank you for saying yes when I asked you to be on the
No,
podcast.
no,
I
I love
really
it. I love
appreciate
it.
it.
I really do. I think this is great. Again, you get to know people. You get to know, again, their likes, not just their business, but their likes, the community, all that. And that's what I believe when you get to understand somebody more, right? You know what makes them tick, right? Why is somebody
Mhm.
doing something? Is it for money? That's the one thing people don't understand. My thing isn't for money 100%. It isn't. I mean, everybody works. It's a passion. So there's times that
Exactly.
it's not money, right? It's a, I want to do this because I think this is the right thing to do, and that's how we're doing it, right?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you, for this, my thing is this is probably your passion, and it's gonna,
Mhm.
as long as you stay with it, that's the key. Stay with it and keep going. Just keep, and if you don't get somebody that wants to be on, you call somebody back on again and you talk about something different, right? No, I really believe
Exactly.
that. I mean, think about when Johnny Carson and Don Rickles, which two of my favorite pastime
Mhm.
people that I watch all the time still, they had each other. Johnny Carson had Donnie Rickles on the thing every like 3 to 4 months, and guess what? People look forward to it, right? Oh, let's catch up. What's new? It's there's so many elements of people. This for you, when you find people that work for you, you just keep going to it. It's your well, like me. I keep calling the same people that I know are like consistent with what they're doing when I need some, and they're consistent, and I'll keep doing it. Right? That's you should just go. It's called going to the well. You just go to the well. If you're not finding something work, maybe you did an interview and it didn't go well. It had nothing to do with you. Maybe it just didn't go well, and you're like, okay, maybe I should veer back. Just call me. Hey, Dustin, want to be on?
I will. But thank you for saying yes. Thank you,
Thank you
and
for inviting me. I appreciate it.
I hope that this will be also something that will inspire other people to, you know, go and pursue their dreams, just like you did, just
No,
like you
no.
did.
I think again, if anything, you get to know, you get deeper with people, right? Sometimes with me, it's hard. It very is. My thing is, I'm so focused on the front end of doing things when it comes to the home solutions thing that sometimes people don't understand that I'm so focused on that that I might not be telling you everything that's going on personally, right? And I'm not saying that you have to, but what I'm saying is it might be like this is what it is because we got like 5 other calls we got to go tackle, right? And so
Mhm.
this is just a way that people get to know you, get to know me more, talk, right? That's what happens.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, and I hope that our public, our audience, likes this video, and you know where to look for Dustin. I'm gonna leave the information down below the video. And thank you for being here with us.